What's good, guys? Welcome back to another episode of GNG News. So, there's a £32 million plan to reduce air pollution and improve congestion in Cardiff revealed. A £32 million plan to reduce dangerous levels of air pollution, cut congestion, improve road networks, public transport, and cycling options in the city centre has been drawn up by Cardiff Council. The authority has revealed the proposals in response to a legal challenge made by a client Earth on Welsh Government, which legally bound the council to take action to reduce pollution levels to a legal limit by 2021. The Cabinet will be presented with a outline business case at its meeting on Thursday, March the 21st, and if improved, the authority will apply to Welsh Government for the necessary funds to begin work on the 2-year programme, which includes implementation of electric buses to replace the oldest and most polluting buses costing £1.8 million, introduction of a bus retrofitting scheme for bus operators in Cardiff to upgrade older buses so they meet Euro 6 engine emission standards costing £1.4 million, major changes to both Castle Street and Westgate Street and the city centre loop to allow for better and more efficient movement of public transport, buses, and increasing active travel capacity in the city centre costing £18.9 million, review and implement a revised taxi policy to ensure that all applications to grant a new vehicle licence for a change of vehicle on a current licence are only improved for vehicles that meet the latest Euro 6 emission standards costing £5.5 million to help taxi owners make the required changes, improvements to active travel and increased 20-mile-per-hour areas costing £4.5 million. An independent survey commissioned by the council to forecast future pollution levels in the cities have identified just one street where EU legal limits are likely to be breached in further years. The survey was carried out by an industry leader, Ricardo, and followed similar studies undertaken in several major British cities. It showed that only Castle Street, which runs in front of Castle from Westgate Street to Duke Street, is likely to fail legal compliance beyond 2021, if not is done to reduce the traffic pollution. So, the Cabinet member for Strategic Planning and Transport said, although only one road in Cardiff Castle Street is modelled to breach legal limits by 2021, this doesn't mean to say we don't have a problem in the city. We do. Welsh Government have made clear that there is no known safe level of exposure to or particular matter air pollution or for short-term exposure to it. The effects of exposure increases the longer someone is exposed, and studies have shown that it is responsible for increased rates of lung disease and cancer. Air pollution on Castle Street is the symptom of a wider problem which extends far beyond the stretch of road. We may be within legal limits across the city, but the cleaner we can make the air, the better it will be for everyone. We need to be clear that we need to decrease the number of cars that travel through the city while increasing the space available for public transport and active travel. We now have come up with a range of measures which will not only fix the problem on Castle Street, but which will also help make the air we breathe across the city cleaner. The council will be calling on Welsh Government for necessary funding to bring these measures into place as soon as possible. Although the model data which is required under the EU Direct have only indicated that Castle Street is in breach of the required levels, the council also has a number of air quality management areas in place where the levels of roadside nitrogen dioxide is approaching and in some locations exceed the limit required by law. Within the city centre, AQMA, and in particular Westgate Street, the council's latest monitoring are at residential locations showed an annual average value of 38.2 micrograms per cubic meter. The legal limit is 40 micrograms per cubic meter. There are other locations in and around Westgate Street where levels of nitrous dioxide are also a cause of concern, so it is clear that the Castle Street isn't the only problem in the city centre. As the Welsh Government has stated, air quality levels which are barely compliant with the objective is not clean and still carry long-term health risks. Advice has been given to help levels as low as reasonably particular and unpractical at interim actions plan is in place on Westgate Street, but the long-term measures which are being proposed to reduce the level on Castle Street should in turn significantly reduce the levels on the streets in the city centre, including Westgate Street in particular. And in the quote, individual schemes which are being proposed in these measures will require further cabinet approval before the progress. And this stage, they are concept designs, and we plan to carry out a public engagement exercise on the measures that we are also being proposed in business cases. Specific details on possible incentive schemes for taxi trades are yet to be confirmed, but a funding request has been made in the business case to the Welsh Government. So there's going to be a lot of improvements apparently to Cardiff by 2021. Hopefully they're going to make the air cleaner, and it's going to be a £32 million plan. Let me know what you guys think about this. I will see you all on the next episode of GNG News. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you're in Wales and you want to find out what's going on, check Wales 24/7. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon.